What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel and my new home. As the title might suggest, I moved. So there's a lot of drama and bullshit surrounding it. So let's get into it. So it starts off on a Friday night. My homegirl Emily came over to my house. We went out on the town in San Diego and we had a really good time, and we went to a hookah bar. I'll throw some clips in here of that. And just had a really good time. And then we met this one guy walking home, and he seemed really chill. So I was like, hey, you want to kick it? And then he was like, yeah, sure. And he takes us up in his apartment, grabs a bottle of Patron, and then we go back to my house. At this point, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. We don't have any music going. We're not being too loud. I mean, we're laughing and having fun, but we're not screaming, So it wasn't honestly, it wasn't too bad. So we're all chilling together, just talking about random stuff. I think we were even talking about my YouTube channel. So I get a knock on my door at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was just like, what the fuck? Who could it be? I go to answer the door, and I have a little Dutch door. So I just opened the top half, and I was like, it's the police. I was like, what's up? They're like, oh, your neighbor complained about noise. And I was like, I looked at my friend, and I was like, the fuck? And I was like, well, did you guys hear anything when you were walking up to my door? They're like, no. And I was like, okay then. And they're like, well, doesn't seem to be a problem here. And they just bounced. And then before they left, I was like, who let you in? Because we have a gate at that community. And I see my fucking jerk ass neighbor walk into his house real quick. And I was like, seriously? The cops didn't say we were being loud or anything like that. So that's the end of that night. And then Saturday, I had to work at the coffee shop, and I lived really close to the coffee shop, so I'd come home to my house at lunch, come home, and I see his little Dutch door open, and I was like, oh my god, I just walk in real quick, and I was like, I don't even want to fucking deal with this guy right now. And then I'm leaving, and he comes up to me, and I'm like, oh fuck, I have to fucking talk to this guy. He looks at me, he's like, you're not even gonna apologize to me? And I looked at him, I'm like, I didn't say anything, I just gave him a look the fuck? The fuck? And he started going on this and this and that. He's like, he's like, I'm gonna get you evicted. And I was just like, have fun, good luck, I gotta go to work. And I just dipped the fuck out and went on with my day. Then when I got home from work, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be some drama. I can sense it one way or another. So I emailed the manager of the apartment or the bungalow complex where I live. And I was like, oh, today, blah, blah, blah. When I came home from work, the neighbor harassed me. I didn't say anything to him. He had called the police, and the police said nothing happened. And then I was just covering my back. So I could put that out there, because I knew that he was gonna talk to them somehow, because I had gotten a complaint from him in the past. So I sent the email, get no response. Come Monday, when I'm working at the university, and I get this phone call from a 619 number, and I'm like, hello? Hello? And there's this lady, and she's like, hi, this is Wendy Siegel, the owner of the bungalows. We had a complaint last night, and we want you out immediately. You have 2 days. And I was just dumbfounded. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know what to say. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm at work, I have to call you back later. And so I hang up the phone with her, and then I'm like, what the fuck, 2 days? That's not legal. You can't kick someone out in 2 days. So I'm like, oh my god. I'm just trying to keep my cool at work, because I have to be professional at work. I work in a university in student services, so I have to be talking to students all day long, and prospective students. So kept my cool at work, called my friend who just graduated law school, told her about it, and talking to all my friends. I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? I'm looking up all this shit online and trying to figure out if what they're doing is legal, and if there's any way I can stay longer. And they're like, we want you out 3 days. I came home from work, I didn't see any notice on my door, which they do if you get a complaint. I had one before, and I didn't see a complaint, so I'm like, okay, this is not so bad. The manager texted me, she said, you need to call Wendy back. today. You're in serious breach of your lease agreement, blah, 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 blah. I didn't respond to her. And then I call the Wendy lady back, and she's like, hi. And I'm like, sorry, you called me at work. And she's like, oh, I thought we had a different number. And I was like, okay, whatever, in my head. Talking to her, she's like, yeah, we have complaints from multiple people, and they want to move out because of you, and you're loud. And I was like, seriously, like, I have my right to quiet enjoyment, which is like a law term for housing and shit like that. And she's like, yeah, quiet. And I was just like, I'm not even going to argue with her. She's like, we want you out 3 days. And she like changed it to 3. I'm like, that's not legal. I ended up looking in the lease where I actually did sign that if anything, in breach of the lease agreement, there's a 3-day blah, 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 blah. Really sketchy. Overlooked it when I signed it. I don't think that's legal. Like, I have nowhere to go. Like, that's ridiculous. Also, my neighbor, he just said some manipulative shit to get me out. Like, he's an ex-cop. He knows how to do the good cop, bad cop thing. And when she first called me, she was really emotional. So she's like, you have 3 days, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? Like, no, she's like, you had music on. And I was like, I didn't have music on. She's like, what, were you drunk? Did you know you didn't have music on? And I didn't have fucking music on. I had people over. I told her, I was honest. But I was like, I did not have music on. And I'm talking to her, and she's like, well, we have a lawyer handling this, and you're going to talk to them. We're done. Da, da, da. And then the conversation ended. In literally 10 minutes, I got off the phone with her. The manager comes and knocks on my door, hands me a notice. And it's not even an eviction notice. It is a notice to quit in 3 days, what the activity, being loud or whatever, or surrender the property or whatever. So it technically wasn't an eviction notice. They were just being very sketchy, and they obviously know what they're doing. It's Jonathan Siegel. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a pretty well-known architect that remodeled the bungalows that I was living in. His houses are beautiful and his buildings are beautiful, but his wife is not that nice. I'll just leave it at that. Moving on from there, they had me talking with a lawyer. So I was like talking to him. I was like, yo, like, I understand she was upset and this and this and this and that. But like, I don't, like, where am I to go? Like, I don't have anywhere to go. I can't go to my parents' house. I can't do this. Can't do that. Like, I don't have any place to put my stuff even. He's like, oh, well, maybe. And I was like, can I at least stay there till the 1st? Because I had already paid for that money, that rent, to stay till the 1st, and this was on the 20th or something around that date. He's like, oh, well, I can see if you can maybe stay for a week or something like that, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, they gave me 3 days, and I could have gone through the whole legal process and like stayed there longer, because I definitely had a chance to stay. Like, I was talking to my lawyer friend, and she's like, yeah, what they're doing is totally fucked up. But I just thought in my head, I'm like, do I really want to go through the headache of having to deal with court shit and potentially having an eviction on my record? So I don't have an eviction on my record. I was just asked to leave. So I was apartment hunting like crazy on Craigslist. Found a beautiful place, by the way. It all ended up working out really, really well. I've just been so blessed and lucky with a lot of things in life, and this was another thing that happened to me. So I'm definitely happy that it all ended up working out, but it was just a fucking shitty situation, and I'm glad that it turned out well. So I found my place. I went and saw it. I saw it, and I was like, all right, I want it. And it's funny because like one of my really good friends that actually just called me before I started making this video. So Adrian, when you see this, I didn't answer your call because I was starting to make this and I just needed to go with the flow. My friend Adrian, who I still live with and work with, is good friends with the property manager here. And then I had been talking about it. I'm like, oh, buddy, I'm going to go see a house tomorrow. And he's like, oh, where? I'm like, North Park. And he's like, what's his name? And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, what? I'm good friends with him. I was like, no fucking way. So the next day I go see the place and I'm like, oh, hey, apparently you're good friends with my friend. And he's like, oh, what? So it's just kind of one of those like things that happen where I was just like, this is like, not only is the apartment fucking dope as fuck, but it's just a cool, like, I guess, side note that I'm connected to him in that way. That Saturday comes, move out of that place. They give me my check for last month's and deposit, get the fuck out of there, move into here, and now I'm here. I signed a year lease, so I'm going to be here hopefully for more than a year if everything goes as it should. I was dealing with a lot of fucking drama, unneeded drama, and who are like people gonna believe a 26-year-old kid who likes to listen to music in the day, or like a old man cop who's a fucking bitch. I ended up taking an L in that situation, but I definitely bounced back finding this place. So I'm very thankful and grateful, and I love this place. I'll throw in a tour at the end. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me see if I wrote down some bullet points just so I can make sure I get everything that I need down. That is my story of me, all the drama that happened, and my eviction, getting asked to leave. It turned out to be a blessing in disguise. My new place is more than twice the size of my old place. I have laundry on site. I have a fucking garage. My neighbors seem really chill. I think North Park is a more chill area for my lifestyle, I guess. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification sign so you can be a part of my notification squad. And remember, stay you guys. Never stop being you, even when times are tough. You know, fight through all the bullshit that you have to deal with, and just pray for things to end out well. You know, positive vibes and positive thoughts go a very long way. Until next time, guys. So just a forewarning, pardon a little bit of clutter, but this is the kitchen. It's got granite countertops. It's kind of small, but it's definitely dope. That's a feeling. Slingshot, boomerang, set me free. Wind it up, 1, 2, 3. Slingshot, boomerang, set me free. Wind it up, 1, 2, 3. Goddamn motherfucker. Alexa, change crown molding to lavender.
Okay.
So dope. Don't have a bed yet, so that's not. And that's pretty basic stuff. Well, thanks again for watching this. Shit, got this cord wrapped up all around my leg.